And welcome to another episode of Worst Collection Ever. This is the show where we tell you about the worst comic book collection in existence, and it just happens to belong to us. I'm Jen.
And I'm Sean.
And we saw Ant-Man because we live on the surface of the sun. We're going to die. Holy fuck, it's hot in LA this weekend. Holy fuck.
It's,
Oh,
I'll say,
God.
let's put it this way. It's, I guess you could say it's uncharacteristically hot.
It is, because here's the thing about LA. Because everybody's like, oh my God, you live in like Southern California. Yes, we do. But here's the thing. LA in July is usually like a nice 75. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful all the time. And you don't really get like, oh my God, you're over 90-degree days, 100-degree days until you get to September and October.
Yeah.
So for it to be, and it was like 116 in Pasadena or something stupid the other day. So for it to be like that in July is extremely uncharacteristic. And especially for us, where we don't live in the valley, we live closer to like the airport and the ocean. A lot of apartments on this side of the hill don't have air conditioning, including ours.
Oh, yeah.
It has been over 100 degrees in our apartment for 2 days. Right now we're at like 93, which is just like a cold snap. Yeah, it's not fun. But we saw Ant-Man because theaters have air conditioning.
Theaters do have air conditioning, so we went to Santa Monica and saw Ant-Man. I'll start. Mm-hmm. I thought it was Ant-Man and the Wasp, excuse me.
Oh,
It's
yes,
the second,
sorry.
Because there was Ant-Man before, but there's Ant-Man and the Wasp with Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly, Michael Douglas, and fucking Michelle Pfeiffer and all that stuff.
All those people.
I thought it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I mean, it's far, and I've seen this. At least I saw somebody post this, and it makes a lot of sense that it's probably one of the more family-friendly films
Absolutely.
in the franchise.
And you could tell they were really shooting for that too, because all the previews that we saw before it were all for kids' movies.
Definitely, yeah. There was. They had that fucking weird Transylvania Hotel Transylvania,
and then
3.
whatever Jack Black is in, the house with the clock in its walls.
Yeah.
Which I swear to God is a book I used to own.
It's got to be a book. I can't see that being an
No,
original
it was
idea.
100% a book, but I swear, I think I used to own books by this guy. He's like a British guy, and I can't remember his last name. I feel like it starts with a B.
Maybe.
And he also, like, basically, it was just like horror books for kids, but like nothing good happened. But it was before like a series of unfortunate events.
Yeah.
It was a thing. Anyway, go ahead.
So, it's definitely got the kid slant to it, or at least a family-friendly slant to it. It's PG-13, so, there's some cursing and
Sure.
there's some bullshit going on, and no spoilers. We're not going to give any spoilers.
No.
Honestly, though, there's not really...
I think there's not really a spoiler until you get to the tag.
As far as we're concerned, because I feel like this movie...
It doesn't matter what happens.
It doesn't matter what happens in this movie at all, because it's just there. It's just a movie. It's just a movie to be told. It's story to be told, and now we got. But if you're looking at it in the scope of everything else in the MCU,
I would say
bigger fish to fry.
The only time it ties anything into what's going, I mean, you kind of get a mention of like why Ant-Man. I mean, this isn't a spoiler. Ant-Man's on house arrest.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is why he wasn't in Infinity War.
Exactly. So that's where he is. So this is what he's doing while he's on house arrest. Okay, fine. So that kind of ties into everything. But then nothing else really ties in until that tag at the end. And that's when it ties into the rest of it. Everything else is going on? Not really.
Yeah.
No.
No, really not at all. I mean, there's just, there's the main villain who is, I guess you would call her Ghost.
Yeah, I think her name's Ghost.
I guess her name was Ghost, and she's she's a character probably from obviously she's a character from the books.
Yeah.
But she's something from like the later, the Ant-Man stuff that I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, basically she was absorbed a lot of quantum energy, and she can like phase through stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like the Flash when he runs really fast, but like she just does it all the time.
She does it all the time, and it hurts, and
whatever.
I forget who the actress is playing. Some girl I don't really know.
Some British girl. I forget her name.
But she's obviously
Lawrence Fishburne's in this movie.
Lawrence Fishburne is Black Goliath. I'm just going to come right out and say it. He's Bill Foster. He's Black Goliath.
Yeah, which was in the trailers.
Yeah, it's in the trailers, and I'm disappointed.
Which is great.
And I'm disappointed that we didn't
Like, get him doing shit?
I wanted, because he does, obviously it's in the trailer too, where they talk about being, it's like, oh, I got real big.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I want to see that.
Yeah, me too.
I want to see Lawrence Fishburne as Black Goliath, because we got shots of Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer as original Ant-Man and Wasp.
Right.
So, give me fucking Black Goliath. I want to see Black Goliath with his weird fucking shirts that he wears, because he's like one of those guys who, like, he would wear those. I don't know why they would do this. I really don't, because they did this even for Hawkeye when he was Goliath for a minute back in the 70s. But he wears like the half shirts, like the but they're like tight. But sometimes like they're also just like there's the fabric just kind of, there's like a hole in their stomach.
Maybe Lawrence Fishburne was like, nah.
He's like, nah, I'm not
He's
doing
like,
it.
I might be a little too old for a hole in the stomach. I have to say, though, there are flashback scenes when we get young Michael Douglas, young Michelle Pfeiffer, young Lawrence Fishburne, and they're weird.
They are weird, yeah.
They're so, I realize we're like,
what we're doing. We're just
aging
them so
and I don't like it.
them,
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it at all. It upsets me, actually.
I'm also going to say I was weirded out, but also greatly amused by toddler-sized Paul Rudd.
That was very funny.
I'm just going to say that's a gag in the movie.
Yeah.
There's also... Can we talk about the Morrissey thing? I think that's
not a spoiler. That's just like a throwaway mention.
So, because there's a few throwaway guys, because there's... Is it Luis? I think
it's Luis.
Luis, his partner from the first movie, is helping him with his security company in this movie, and he's a big part of the. Obviously, he's in the trailer. He's a big part of this operation, and he's funny.
Oh yeah,
they're good to add in some jokes and some levity, because that's what obviously he's saying. I think that was the goal of the movie.
Yeah,
is there's
jokes
kids in
and
there,
jokes and
jokes.
jokes.
So we're doing jokes. We're having fun.
Yeah,
we're having fun.
There's a little. They do the same thing they did with Guardians, which is a couple of times in the movie. They put jokes where there should not be jokes.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, enough. But yeah, so they're jokes. Anyway, so Luis.
Yeah, he's in the movie, and he... what was I going to say about him?
His jukebox.
Well, that's right. They have this jukebox, and one of those...
It was like his grandma's bar or something.
Grandma's bar that has a jukebox that only plays Morrissey, because this is not, a weird thing to say, but like, Latino culture really loves Morrissey.
It's a thing.
That is a thing that I don't think I've ever quite understood why. I know there's reasons why. I think it's because they just love him, but somehow it's such a strange thing to me.
Yeah, but apparently his grandma owned a bar or something with a jukebox that only plays Morrissey.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can I go to that place? I just want to see it.
I want to see that bar, and also I was really I'm going to say there's no Morrissey cameo.
Oh yeah, no.
I was really hoping
there
for a
would
Morrissey
be
cameo.
There's
like
no
at some
way.
Point when Paul Rudd's big or something, and he's like, and he's like, oh no, my hair might get flattened, and he runs away or whatever. Morrissey.
Yeah, no, Morrissey takes himself way too seriously to be in a Marvel movie.
See, that's the thing. I would.
There's a weird Stan Lee cameo, I would have to say, and I'm just like, what?
I would have loved it if Stan Lee and Morrissey were hanging out together.
Yeah.
Just give me that. Just figure something out with that.
Because
or Stan Lee as Morrissey.
Speaking of Stan Lee, obviously we know Steve Ditko passed away.
R.I.P. Steve Ditko.
R.I.P. 90. Stan Lee, I believe, is 94.
Yeah.
Something. He's older.
R.I.P. Steve Ditko, artist of Chuck Norris Karate Commandos.
That's right.
That's what he'll be remembered.
Oh, that's right. He has appeared on this show.
Yeah, Steve Ditko. If we had we waited, we could have done that book as a memorial to him.
I'm sure he would have been thrilled.
Because because you can't forget about the Creeper and all the other great.
But I was just gonna say, like, do you think
Shade the Change Man, which we also have done on the show.
Do you think that Stan Lee is a Highlander?
He's something.
He's like, there could be only one, and he's like, I outlived them all because he did.
Oh, maybe this is gonna be a thing at Comic-Con this year where like.
Stanley just has to take over
because they're like, oh, Stanley was gonna be here, but here he is, and he just all of a sudden just light pours out of him.
He's like, I survived. I am immortal.
Everybody and then everybody's like, oh, this is gonna be a great gimmick. It's like, no, this is real.
Yeah, no, this is real, guys. Sorry.
Stanley is a Highlander. It's real.
It's a real thing now. Yeah, it was an enjoyable movie.
Good movie, fun movie.
It was fun. For me, I have no emotional investment in Ant-Man or the Wasp. don't particularly care.
Do I really?
Yeah, so the Ant-Man's a character I've never cared about, so I'm just like, cool. This is fun. It's an enjoyable movie.
Here's the thing. Paul Rudd's playing him.
Paul Rudd was good.
Paul Rudd
Everybody was good in this movie.
Yeah, everybody's good. Paul Rudd's I like Paul Rudd a lot.
Yeah, I mean, but there was nobody in here that I was like, oh my god, this person is terrible. No, everybody in there was great. Michelle Pfeiffer looks fantastic, by the way.
Yeah.
She looks great. She was also great, obviously. She's Michelle Pfeiffer. But everybody was good in it. The effects were good. It was a fun time. There were good jokes. It was a nice way to get out of the heat and, eat some popcorn and enjoy a movie.
Sure was.
And then the tag at the end, I was like, ha-ha! And now everything's tied together.
So you go see them in a while.
So yeah, go see it.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
So before we take our break, you want to talk about the Batman 50.
Duh. Bah! That's how I feel about it. I mean, yeah, pretty much. I'm not really going to get into it because, again, I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't read it. The New York Times spoiled it, but people have been trying to avoid that spoiler. I'm here to complain about it because I have a hot take trademark, hashtag hot take, and I just wanted to share that with the listeners. So basically, this is what it is. Fast forward past our break if you don't want to hear me because I might accidentally spoil this. So fast forward.
I'm actually not going to really be saying anything right now.
I know. You're going to let me complain. Okay. So now everybody's fast forward. So obviously, again, spoilers, get the fuck out if you don't want to hear this. Obviously, Batman and Catwoman did not get married. This is not really a surprise. It's fucking comics. Nothing ever changes. However, the thing that pisses me off about this, and everybody knows I love Batman and Catwoman together. They are my one true pairing, my OTP. Oh my god, they make me believe in love, etc. However, I'm not really surprised they didn't get married because of course they didn't. What pissed me off is not the fact that it was spoiled in the New York Times, is not the fact that they didn't get married. It is the humongous amount of promotional bullshit that DC put behind this event for a just kidding. And that's what fucking pissed me off. Because they have, I can't even tell you how many variant covers. They did all these variant covers. They did this huge, marketing push where the batrimony is really going to happen. They've been, amping it up to be this, oh my god, you have to get Batman 50. This is the wedding issue. This is the one where it happens. Hey, comic book stores, why don't you stay open and, so people can get it at midnight? Some of those stores went out and bought fucking wedding cakes and shit. Like, they went and had to, have, a big deal. They had DC released a reception playlist on Spotify, curated by the artists who drew all the fucking variants. This huge marketing push. The only reason it was in the New York Times is because they wrote up a vows column. You're supposed to see with rich people getting married. You're supposed to see this, this is them getting married, blah, 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 blah. And that's when they ended up spoiling it. So they put that much of a marketing push behind it to literally just be no dice. And that's what makes me mad. Because literally, I mean, I know this is comics, but seriously, I feel like people put a lot of money and time into this, into buying all 50 issues from Tom King and all the, his run. And then to watch this huge promotional machine, this would be like watching Lord of the Rings and being told, hey guys, the Battle of Helm's Deep is coming. It's going to be great. Do you want this cool battle troll? Here's a battle troll action figure. Here's a Legolas with punching action. Here's the castle. You can have your very own, you can storm Helm's Deep and it's going to be awesome. Wait until you see this battle. So fucking cool. There's going to be explosions. There's going to be death. There's going to be arrows through faces and you're going to be so excited. And then when you go to watch this fucking movie, and what do you see? You see 45 minutes of people literally talking it out over tea. That's what this is. And it just pisses me off because I'm just why do I believe anything you fucking say? Why would I trust you with my money? If I can't believe anything, I can't believe any of your marketing pushes because what are you going to do? Get me hyped for an event and pull the fucking rug out from under me. So that's why I'm angry.
Arrows with faces.
Huh?
That's what you said.
Arrows through faces.
Oh, I think you said arrows with faces. Little
arrows with faces would also be great. Here's this arrow, magical arrow with the face that's going to shoot through somebody else.
Bullets and Roger Rabbit?
Yeah, and it's going to shoot through somebody else.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't really have as much of a dog in a fight in this, but I will say that what really frustrates me about this is, again, this DC really fucking over the comic book? I mean, look, I understand. Okay,
I get it. It's comic books,
it's
whatever.
Comic books, storylines, whatever.
That's not what I care about.
But, well, I mean, I don't know how else you were gonna not be able to fill it up if you weren't actually. Because I mean, shit. I mean,
that's the thing. It's the hype behind it to not carry through. I mean, even in the death of Superman, we all knew Superman wasn't going to stay dead, but he went away for a couple issues.
Yeah.
You know, like, there was a storyline. There was a something. So if I pick up an issue that says the death of Superman, he actually fucking died in that book.
Yeah.
And he came back. But, I mean, of course he came back.
And Lois and Superman did get married.
They did get married. And, I mean, so it's kind of like, why can't you just follow through?
Even in wrestling, Macho Man and Elizabeth did get married.
Yeah. So it's like, why can't we just follow...
And they even had a reception.
Follow through with this event. Tom King's already like, well, don't worry, guys, I have 50 more issues. I'm like, who the fuck's going to pay for 50 more issues? To what? Pull the rug out from under us again? Like, you could have had them get married and then had 50 issues to document why they needed to get divorced. And there you go. You have a whole fucking arc.
You could have had a honeymoon issue.
You could have had a whole bunch of shit. It could have been like, oh my God, it doesn't work for us. We're getting a divorce. Whatever. But, like, give it some time.
So they didn't do that, and now this is what also, like, again, okay, first of all, I was going to say, the stores putting all this energy and effort into promoting this.
I know.
Where
they spent a whole fuck ton of money
on
on these books.
I mean, I'd be curious, like, hey, look, if you're a shop owner and you listen to this show, and you have a thought as to, how this may have affected you.
Yeah, let us know.
In a sense, like, or maybe it's just something where it's just like, this is just how DC does it. Or just as how comics is, because I mean, I'm sure Marvel has done this shit too, in some ways. But I'd be curious to hear how this is, because I mean, especially for people being like setting up fucking, like parties and just events
and just having like people come out,
because it's just
extra payroll to keep the store open,
extra payroll, extra inventory. I mean, there's a lot of investment on a store's end to make that work.
Yeah.
Something that
especially if they're they're a little...
If you're an indie store.
A very small indie store.
Which, I mean, pretty much all comic book stores are
and
stores.
You're already operating on a little razor-thin margin as it is, and then you spend all this fucking money, and people get it spoiled, and then people canceled their orders, or they didn't have, people didn't come in and pick up the issue the way they were hoping for. Cause for me, I trade weight. Definitely I trade weight. I have not been following Tom King's run because it's just one of those things I'll get around to eventually. But I'm going to buy it in trade.
Yeah.
Right. So I'll collect the trades, whatever. But for this issue, for Batman 50, I was going to go buy it. I was going to go down to the store. I was going to pick it up and maybe a couple variant covers. If I really liked them, I was going to get that. And I was also going to buy Catwoman #1.
See, okay, well, I got a point about that.
And then I'd see if I liked both of them, whatever. And then probably, pick them both up and trade eventually.
Yeah.
Because I read too quickly. For modern comics, that's why I like the Bronze Age stuff and the Silver Age stuff, because usually you're a one and done.
Yeah.
So I can just read a story. I'm like, okay, that's the end of the story. But for me, following with modern comics is extremely frustrating because it takes me not even 10 minutes to read a comic.
Yeah.
So I spend all this money, I read it, and then I'm like, okay, well, I guess just keep waiting until next month to see what happens. So that's why I like trades.
Yeah. But I'll say this. So Catwoman #1.
Yeah.
Brand new series for Catwoman, right?
Yeah, we're so excited about it.
So excited. This is kind of like a wrestling analogy, but it's kind of like...
It's like burying the guy.
I'll use an example. There's a wrestler called Curtis Axel, who has a lineage, and his father's Mr. Perfect or whatever. And so he was another name before that for some reason, Michael McGillicuddy, and they decided to change him to Curtis Axel, and they brought him up and they gave him Paul Heyman, Mr. Paulie Dangerously, who's a very great mouthpiece. As his manager, and they brought him up, and they were like, "Okay, he's the future. He's gonna be a future. This is the thing. They'll do this. They'll be like, hey, here's this future guy with a pedigree, and he's a wrestler, and we're gonna put him over on some stuff or whatever." And so right away, they put him in there with Triple H. And see, now I'm blanking on exactly how this feud ended, but Triple H will lose, but he doesn't lose. It's not a thing where it's like, oh wow, he will lose definitively to this guy. This guy came in. It's not like Doomsday coming in and beating the shit out of literally all the heroes in the universe. Like, because he beat with one hand behind his back.
Right.
That's literally what happened when he beat the Justice League. He defeated the Justice League at that time with one hand behind his back, and then he went ahead and destroyed Superman.
Yeah.
He killed Superman. And that's how you fucking put somebody over, because we still, Doomsday, when you're reading the, I'm certain that if you're a Superman reader and you're like, oh, Doomsday's coming back.
Well, shit, I mean, if Batman v Superman wasn't so fucking terrible, that aside,
that didn't do him any favors.
That didn't do him any favors, but could you imagine if they were just like, if they had just done Man of Steel 2 like they were supposed to, and fucking Doomsday was your villain? Yeah. That would have been fucking awesome. How cool would that have been?
Right, and it's kind of like he would have been a much bigger thing. It's kind of like how Thanos is in the MCU.
Yeah,
but what we're saying in wrestling, you put this guy over, and so but now here's the thing with this is tying us back to Batman and Catwoman. You have this event that happened. Yeah. This event that's supposed to happen. It's a big event, and it's probably gonna all the interest is gonna from that event is going to carry over into this new book.
Yeah.
Well, what happens in this book? Fucking nothing.
Exactly.
Fucking dick.
This is like
so why would unless you're a person that's heavily invested in Batman and Catwoman and just Catwoman in general, you're not going to be like, how are you going to make this character or make this book seem important to new readers, to people? Right. That's what you want. Is you want new people to go, I think that's cool. You want people. You need to change.
Or this is something different.
This is something different. I need to follow this.
Yeah.
And they can make their own decisions from there. But you have to get them on board at least first and see how and give it a shot.
Yeah, I think
this is not it.
This for me, this was to tie it back to your wrestling analogy. This is when you have a dude or a lady who is so fucking over in NXT. And oh my God, look at the build they've done in NXT. Look at the run they've done in NXT. Isn't this amazing? Aren't they they're the shit. And then they bring them up to the main roster and they do nothing with them.
Right.
And then they're just another boring, like, look at Bayley.
Well, the problem,
like, I think Bayley's a really good example of this. Like, oh my God, Bayley was just fucking killing it in the women's division in NXT. She was so great. Oh my God, Bayley, everybody loved her, and they bring her up to the fucking main roster, and she's just nothing. She's a face in the crowd. That's all she is now.
Well, here's the thing. Well, real quick, and then I'll make a point about NXT. The NXT audience, which is primarily the Full Sail audience out in Florida,
and the people who watch the network,
and the people that watch the network, is a very different beast than the people who are Raw audiences, because that haven't quite been able to discover that thing, because the Raw audience is a more casual, could be more a casual audience, more casual wrestling audience. People that just are, so they can't, so when they introduce somebody to the main roster, they got to figure out a way to make it more appealing, even though maybe in some cases whatever already was working might actually work, and you just need to kind of tailor everything else around it. But that's not what they do. So and it's not the same. I
don't know. I mean,
Bayley's pretty over.
I would agree.
They don't do her any favors.
That's sometimes. The thing. I think I would agree with that and I realize that the Raw audience is definitely going to be different. Your SmackDown audience is different, but I still, the company is like, hey, Roman Reigns, everyone suck his dick, and holy shit, you see what happens to him every time he's in the ring. The crowd has turned on him.
But that's a Vince,
and it's not his fucking fault.
No, it's not.
It's Vince's fault because he won't
a very
listen.
Good wrestler. It's how he's presented.
Yeah, which again,
why he does not get over.
It's not his fault. Yeah. I feel bad for him, but I mean, it's kind of one of those like when what was his fucking ass? It was like nobody gets married, and you're like, yeah, and you're like, hey, maybe they should. And he was like, nope, superheroes can't be happy, and everybody was like. He was like, yep, that's my decision. I'm sticking to it. I kind of feel like it's the same bullshit.
Yeah. Is he still in charge?
I have no clue.
I assume that.
I don't know.
You always hear people go, oh, Jeff Johns ain't doing this, or Jan Didio's not doing this. I'm like, but they are. So I don't really care. I don't really believe that none of these people are going away unless they actually stop doing comics and go become fucking grave diggers or something.
Yeah. So I'm very, just to recap, I'm very bummed out. I really want to pick up Catwoman #1 because I don't know if it's fair to tank this. I want a Catwoman book that's good, because I picked up Catwoman during the New 52 and it was just, god-awful.
Yeah, once Ann Nessendi took over.
Well, it was bad when Judd Winnick was there, too, and, like, it was okay with him, but once Ann Nessendi took over, she ran it into the ground, and then they gave it to Genevieve Valentine, and I wanted to like it, but holy fuck was it boring. And, like, it just ended up dying from there, and I was like, oh, man, here we're going to get this awesome new Catwoman book, but it's another she's a thief on the run book. There's no difference. I mean, maybe there is. Maybe the work that I've seen in pictures looks beautiful.
Well, that's great. I mean, the artwork's
but
great.
at the same time, I'm like, is this another? Could I get it better with the shit I already own?
Yeah.
So,
well,
anyway,
got that out of our system.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me rant.
No, you. This is the place to do it. The internet is the place to rant. So
to Twitter.
So let's take a break, and we'll come back with our book for this week.
Afternoon, everybody.
Ryan! How's that baby treating you, Mr. Daly?
Like Thanos snapping his fingers at my bank account.
In that case, how about a beer on the house?
Sure, gotta give my mouth something to do between podcasts.
Say, Ryan, I don't get how you have so much time for podcasting. Doesn't your wife want you spending time with the baby?
Would you? Truth is, I think she's a little worried about how much time I'm spending with the kid, ever since his first words were Dagobah system. Now she wants me to go out and do something mature, something productive, and most of all, something lucrative that can support the family.
So you're going to...
Podcast about Cheers, yeah. That kid's not going to start college for 18 years. I got time. Cheerscast, the podcast where everybody knows your name. Coming soon to the Fire and Water Network.
All right, we're back here on Worst Collection Ever with our book for this week. It is The Brave and the Bold. That's right, we're doing it again.
Oh, we are.
Pretty soon. Because Jen read this book, and she goes, we have to do this.
We have to do this book.
And, I mean, really, anything with Jim Aparo and Bob Haney doing Brave and the Bold.
Yeah, you guys know this is going to get fucking weird.
This is a hoot.
Oh, yeah.
And we kind of need that, because after,
after the
Batman debacle.
Just in general, we live in a trash fire, so...
Trash fire.
Yeah.
But yeah, Batman, Brave and the Bold, number 123 from December 1975. And, which we just had a debate real quick, because it looks like a 3.
And then I was just going to say, this is the beauty of owning old comic books. Sometimes they're kind of beat up and you can't really tell what they're supposed to say. But it's 1975.
Yep. So on the cover, it's a Titanic trio team up.
Oh, man.
Titanic trio team up with Batman.
Yep.
Plastic Man.
Oh, shit.
And Metamorpho.
Yes.
I didn't realize this was one that they did, because I usually feel like Metamorpho, I have his first appearance. Mm-hmm. We have another one with him in it. He's actually in this book a lot. Like, he's actually.
Oh, yeah. He is.
I mean, he's a homegrown creation of Haney and all. No, wait. Maybe not Haney. Okay, I'm probably getting that wrong. There's a woman. Ramona something.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm blanking on her last name, but I know she created him. But yeah, so this is Batman, and
he's a fucked up character.
He is. Well, let me look at him. I mean, this is what he always looked really weird too.
Yeah.
Like, because he has like the weird eyes and the weird face. Yeah. Toward as he eventually regressed, like he didn't look as weird.
Yeah.
He wasn't drawn as weird, but so the cover basically is. There's no words. It's just Batman.
Batman is using we're above a city. I'm assuming it's Gotham. Batman is apparently using Metamorpho as a helicopter. Which
or a skiff of some sort.
Yeah, because he's got like blades, but it's also got I don't know. It's got a seat and it's got a Metamorpho face. It's very disturbing. And then on the rooftop, Plastic Man has grabbed Metamorpho around the neck and is pulling him back towards the ground, and Batman is like flying off.
Batman's flying off, and he's like, "Oh!"
And he's like, "Oh no!" So everybody's gonna die, basically.
I do like that this control stick for
it's a joystick.
Metamorpho. The joystick to control this vehicle that is Metamorpho is coming. It looks like it's coming out of his ass.
Well, that's what I mean. It's just very upsetting. The whole thing's upsetting.
Coming out of his ass. So we start off with a
Well, first we start off with a narration box that just says "The Naked City, 1975," and I'm like, what is that even? What is the Naked City? What does that even mean? Is that a nickname for a city?
We just sometimes you say that.
Do you?
I mean, that's a.
I've never gone downtown LA and been like, the Naked City, LA. Like,
I don't really know what that means.
that's what I mean. Is that a saying?
It is a saying. But
It's a saying that's fallen out of fashion because
Yeah.
I sure as fuck don't know what it
No,
means.
it certainly
that's
has,
a better
'cause I feel like
breeze.
that was a thing that was used back in the probably when like Bob Haney was a kid.
Are you feeling that we're getting a little bit of a better breeze?
Oh,
I
I
feel
know.
like the wind may have shifted. This is a good thing.
heat?
Anyway,
So basically, we're in the middle of a bank holdup. The bandits have already killed a hostage. By the way,
oh yeah, middle of the day, Batman's out.
middle of the day, Batman's out. Dog Day Afternoon's going on. Hostage has already been killed. So
And they're in a bank.
this is a hardcore thing. Like
Yeah.
which is actually that's kind of thing. 'Cause usually you don't jump right into like a dead hostage.
Yeah, no, we've got a dead hostage here. So Batman's hanging out with the police, and he's like, they're holed up in this bank. We've already got a dead hostage. We got to do something. And Batman's like, I've got an idea.
Well, they want like a car and everything like that, and they're like, "But we already
Yeah.
killed somebody, so give us a car."
Yeah.
And so they're like, "Hey, Batman's like, well, let me figure out what to do."
Yeah.
So he decides.
Well, we'll see what happens is we go into the bank where the robbers are, and here comes a woman driving up through the drive-through teller. So she puts her deposit into the little thing that you put your deposit into, and it goes into the bank, and they're like, haha, we'll just steal this money from this lady. Oh no, it's a fucking grenade. It's a grenade. And there's hostages in this bank, by the way. One of them is already dead. They blow the fuck out of this bank. This is Batman's idea.
This was Batman's
This was
idea.
Batman's idea. And it's not an old woman. It's just some dude he had dressed up like an old woman.
Yeah.
So he had a cop dress up like an old woman
Eric Bogosian.
and put a fucking grenade in a bank filled with hostages to blow it sky high.
So the next part of the plan is Batman runs into the bank,
Yes.
picks up a bag of nickels.
Well, because one dude's trying to get away.
Batman legit picks up a bag of
A
nickels.
bag, like a literal, like a huge bag of nickels. You know this thing has to weigh like 40 pounds.
Yeah.
And it's got like the 5
Think
cent drawn on the side.
Think about a roll of nickels.
You just think about how much it cost. Like when you take your change down to the Coinstar, think about how much that costs. So think about like a sack full of nickels. That's got to weigh a lot of, like, that's a lot.
That's a lot of nickels.
Yeah.
That's a good chunk of nickels. And Batman,
And I don't know why this guy's even bothering to take the sack of nickels in the first place, but
Well, they're just there to grab the money.
yeah, but nickels?
Nickels, dimes.
This guy's like, go to the Coinstar. Can't wait to trade all this in for a
Nickels,
gift card.
dimes, Eisenhower pieces, 50-cent
I mean,
pieces.
technically it is all
Susan B.
money.
Oh wait, no, are we? Oh, this is 75, so we don't have Susan B. Anthony quarters yet. But
Yeah,
you know they would have been taking those.
in fairness, it is all money. So,
Give me those $2 bills.
Batman runs in, he picks up this humongous sack of nickels, and as the guy's running away, Batman fucking just wings it at him and hits him right in the fucking head with it. That guy has to be dead.
Well, that guy's certainly dead, and Batman throws it with the accuracy of him throwing that box over his shoulder in BVS.
Oh, that made me laugh.
That's not talked about enough.
No, it's not.
That fight scene and the fact that is it the same scene where
It's such a great fight scene
it's a
until
great fight
that
scene
part.
where he throws the body, he captures because you know obviously go back and watch you can go back and watch this. He bat ropes the box behind him and flings it forward
Over his shoulder.
over his shoulder somehow.
It is a crate. It's a crate big enough to like hold a Fiat.
Is that also the same same fight where he gets shot in the head
Yes.
directly?
Yes, it is.
Like fucking,
Yeah.
it's a fucking raid,
Dude,
but he doesn't.
yeah.
He doesn't die. He
Yeah.
literally gets shot in the ear with a shotgun.
He does in the
point
fucking
blank range,
yes,
on
and
the
he
ground,
just
and
gets up.
and he no sells it.
Yeah, It was like nothing. It's like a fucking paintball. It was crazy.
I kind of want to just watch
Yeah,
that
because
fight scene again.
it's a great fight scene because he like busts in because he's gonna go save Martha Kent.
Yeah.
And it's like awesome. And then he gets shot in the head, and I'm like, and then he just hucks a fucking shipping crate big enough to hold my car over his fucking head. And then I just lose my shit laughing. Because come on now.
Oh, that's a funny movie.
It's so great.
That's a funny movie. That's a comedy.
It is.
That movie's a comedy. Guys, let's be honest. The Batman Man of Steel, Batman v
If
Superman,
we watch those
Justice League,
as comedies, it might be better.
those are comedies. Put them in the comedy section. Those are comedies. You know I'm laughing.
Oh, we all are.
So anyway, so the drag grenade works.
Yeah, so Batman kills that man.
So Batman kills everybody.
And they don't even mention if any of the hostages get out. They're just like, we
Because we're all dead.
because nobody cares. We blew up a bank and we hit a dude with some nickels.
Batman's idea was they already killed one hostage. Let's kill the rest. It's all or nothing. Let's just do it all.
He's like, no point in saving these people.
Yeah,
Fuck it.
They're done for. That's exactly probably what happened.
Yeah.
Just kill everybody.
He's like, you know what's great? Killing. And it's just what he went for.
Oh, he's killing.
And he was like, there's one dude left alive. I'll hit him in the head with some nickels until he dies.
So I do like so the drag grenader is like,
Yeah,
hey,
the cop who's dressed as a lady.
Here comes Lieutenant Gordon to congratulate us.
Yeah, we killed all these
But
people.
he's there to see Batman. And he's like, "Yo, Batman, Bruce Wayne has been charged with murder and fraud.
But both?
It says, charged with fraud and murder."
Okay.
So he not only did he
one of those is a lesser charge.
Not only did he use somebody's credit card to buy some sodas, but he also murdered the person that sold him the soda.
Yeah, bigger deal. So being charged with
I also
it?
like his purple suit here.
Yes, but it's not suspected of. It's charged. There's enough evidence to charge him with a crime. And he's like, so Bruce Wayne's been charged with the killing and fraud. Batman, go get him. And Batman goes,
If he's been charged, there had to have been an arraignment, right?
I don't know how exactly it works. If he's been charged,
which means that at that point, Bruce Wayne would have had to have been
in custody.
I don't know.
Can you charge somebody before they're in custody?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not a lawyer.
But I know that if you charge somebody, there has to be enough evidence.
Right.
Like a judge has to say, yeah, we agree, go for it.
Which clearly there was.
Yeah.
Apparently. So.
Or the prosecutor at least has to say yes.
Okay, well, actually, now this makes sense, because now when we eventually find out what happened. Mm-hmm. Because, spoiler alert, this ain't Batman.
Oh, really?
Now that I think about it, and why this plan goes the way it does in this opening scene.
Are you finding logic in Bob Haney's writing?
Frighteningly, yes.
Uh-oh. The heat's gotten to you, hasn't it?
Sure has. So Batman's like, so he's like, yo, I gotta go
get Bruce.
He uses a payphone to track down Bruce Wayne, and then he goes to.
Well, and then we cut to.
Now we're in Istanbul.
We're in Istanbul. There's some dude, and he's selling a statue. What is this thing called?
What is it called? The Neji.
The Neji.
Pronounce it the Neji.
It's the Neji statue, and this guy's like, "Hey, Bruce, because here's Bruce Wayne, not as Batman, but as Bruce Wayne." He's like, "Well, I have one other bidder for this, but man, I'll give you this money. I stole it from this tribe, but don't you want this artifact?"
Well, he didn't steal it. Somebody stole it.
No, not Bruce. It's the guy.
The guy didn't steal it either. I think it was stolen. He got it. Bruce Wayne's like, I need to give it back because apparently.
Well, no, that's his plan, but he doesn't tell this guy that.
Well, right, but I'm saying, but it's apparently the reason the thing got stolen because Bruce Wayne, archaeologist, as it says that somebody stole this statue, and since it's been stolen, the people in this tribe have been like fighting each other, and they can't grow plants. So Bruce Wayne's about to get his money, but then Batman shows up.
Yep.
Batman and Bruce Wayne in the same room. What?
Yeah. Oh my God.
So
what?
Batman's like,
and he's like, "Come on, Bruce, you've been charged with murder."
He's like, "Come on, you've been charged with murder. Let's go." And then
Bruce Wayne has to be like, hey, Batman, remember how you're actually Plastic Man? And I found you because you were a homeless bum or something?
Well, this is first of all, Batman discovers plastic bum.
He's literally homeless.
Plastic bum.
Because he just like fell on hard times or something.
So okay, well, basically, first of all, Batman finds out this is Plastic Man because
he recognizes him, doesn't he?
Well, he recognizes him, but it's because Batman is doing street justice by moving panhandlers along. So instead of breaking cartels and
he's kicking homeless people off bus benches.
Some guy is out there he's like, you got any change? And Batman's like, hey buddy, come on.
Yeah. You can't sleep here.
Whatever that guy's name was in Boston, Captain Change.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, he's the spare change guy.
Spare change guy. He's telling him to move along, and he's like, "Oh wait, shit! You're Plastic Man."
Yeah.
And Plastic Man's like, "Yeah, like ever since I did this, ever since our last issue, I was in with Brave and the Bold. We had something with this chick Ruby Rider, and I fell on hard times after that, and I quit my job. I quit my job at the circus because I was a freak." And this is what he's saying.
Yeah.
And also, too, I want to point out the fascination of comic books and finding superheroes as bums.
Yeah, what's going on
Because
with
that's how Namor was discovered, when he came back from the Golden Age.
Oh, really?
He got introduced in the Silver Age, is that Johnny Storm found him as a bum, and he was like, because he had amnesia, and he's like, oh, wait, you're Namor. You should, continue being Namor. And he's like, that's right.
Yeah, that's basically what happens. Batman's like, hey, come with me. Poses me because I gotta go do some stuff.
So think about this. Bruce Wayne has business.
Yes.
And instead of doing the Bruce Wayne thing and blowing off your business to be Batman, Bruce Wayne has got to do the business.
Yes.
So he asks a bum who he just discovered to be Plastic Man.
Yes.
To impersonate him.
Yes.
While he's gone.
Yes.
So this is where we're at. So Bruce Wayne's like, yo, what the fuck? And Batman and Plastic Man, I was gonna say it's Plastic Man.
Yeah.
Plastic Man is like,
no dice.
No dice.
Because he doesn't remember this. He thinks he's actually Batman.
I do like this panel here of Plastic Man and the Turkish cops tackling Bruce Wayne.
Yes.
And that leads directly to him being indicted for fraud and murder.
Yep.
And held with no bail.
Yeah.
Fuck bail.
Well, because he's a huge flight risk. I mean, let's be honest.
Well, he's Bruce Wayne.
He's Bruce Wayne. You can't even take his passport. You got to take all the shit he owns too. So, yeah, no bail.
So Batman's in the thing.
Yeah, Bruce Wayne's like, what the fuck, man? I don't know what.
And Bruce is like, oh man, the evidence is too good. I killed somebody.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I must have done it because the evidence. And I'm like, what is even happening right now?
And I'm going to tell you this right now, spoiler alert. We do not find out who he killed or may have tried to kill. I'm assuming maybe the guy with the nickels. That guy?
No, because they couldn't have brought charges that quickly.
Oh, maybe they did?
Because we literally never, this just goes, it doesn't matter. It just goes away.
This is like the most Entourage issue of Brave and the Bold I've ever read. Because literally it just goes, Vince, you did it!
Yeah, it's like, Batman, nobody cares that somebody's dead.
Yeah, so this is why it's insane. I feel bad spoiling it ahead of time, but I mean, the book's been out for 40, 50.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's been out for a good 40-something years. I think we're all right. So
Bruce is in the prison,
and all of a sudden his lawyer,
and then his lawyer shows up.
Lawyer
shows up, and immediately Bruce recognizes him as Rex Mason, but Rex is wearing a fucking mustache.
Yeah, he's like, oh my god, Rex Mason, I mean Metamorpho. He's like, yep, that's me. I'm here to get you out of here because I don't believe you did it. Have a Batman suit.
I snuck into your penthouse, and I got your Batman suit.
He's like, and now time for me to metamorpho my way through these bars.
He sure does. He uses science.
He uses glass cutter.
Cobalt. What does he use for the glass cutter? Does he turn himself into? Like,
I don't know.
what's the glass cutting element.
He
doesn't announce it. I don't.
But
know.
see, here's the thing. He doesn't really announce elements here. He just
He does.
becomes. No, go back and look at that.
Okay, but he talks about here. He goes first a cobalt bolt cutter to get past the mesh.
Okay, but that's just a bolt cutter, and that
But it's
there
a cobalt one.
doesn't matter. That there is just a fucking. He turns his finger into a glass cutter. It's
What element
got
cuts glass?
diamonds.
That's not an element.
That's what I'm telling you. It's a glass cutter. They're really stretching the definition of elements here because it's a circular saw.
Right, he's using a saw to cut through the thing.
Yeah.
I get it. But
Yeah.
I'm saying he doesn't announce what element it's made out of.
Because it doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
No, he just makes stuff now.
So he cuts through the glass, and he does have this quote that you took a picture of.
I did. On the 4th of July, because I read this on the 4th of July.
He says, now a handy-dandy glass cutter. The slightly polluted... I'm sorry. Smell the slightly polluted air of freedom.
I thought that was funny.
So they escape, and they're like,
and he's like, we can't let anybody see you. And he's like, don't worry about it. This is Gotham. People are used to seeing Batman.
right.
So this is my favorite part of the entire book. They're like, okay, we got to find Plastic Man.
Okay.
So Metamorpho's like, my plan is that I'm going to pick a street corner and I'm going to turn myself into a mailbox and just wait. So in the entirety of all of Gotham City, he picks one street corner, turns himself into a mailbox, and just hopes Plastic Man walks by. And after several hours of obviously not seeing Plastic Man, he's like, man.
And collecting mail.
He's collected mail. He's like, I better go drop this at the post office and look for him somewhere else. I'm just like, why would you, like, that would be like me going to New York City and being like, corner of 42nd Street, I'm just going to stand here and wait for Bill. Who's Bill? Some just random dude named Bill that I think lives here. I'm just going to stand on the street corner until he might walk by.
Be like, I heard, like, with a celebrity, like Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, I'm just going to stand here on the corner of 42nd Street and wait for Jerry Seinfeld to walk by.
Maybe Jerry Seinfeld might be here.
Yep. If I stand on this corner, he'll eventually pass me.
Actually,
like, there's only one fucking
I'll hide in
street.
this garbage can.
Like, there's one fucking street in the entire city, and everyone's gonna walk down it every day.
So
Ridiculous.
they go to the top of this building. I'm wondering here, Batman apparently can go to the top of the Wayne building and see everything in Gotham to the point where he looks across over the way to another skyscraper and happens to see Batman, or Plastic Man as Batman, going into the Ruby Rider building, which is the woman that apparently, whatever the caper was from before.
Honest to God, this book is just an excuse for Bob Haney to get so close to calling women bitches.
Oh, yeah.
That's what this book is, because he has Batman call this woman a witch.
No, he does.
It's
right.
Batman. Batman calls this woman a witch twice.
It's a He-Man Haters Club issue.
100%. This is Batman. This is Bob
That's
Haney.
right. I thought
hates.
Metamorpho calls
Oh
her
no, it's
gorgeous
Batman.
witch. Batman calls her
Twice.
a gorgeous witch. No, wait, does he?
Twice.
Because there's one later where I feel like
It's Batman. He does
Metamorpho
it-
calls her a witch.
No,
a second witch.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. They're just basically. It's just they really just want to call women bitches, and this is as close as they can fucking get because of the comic code.
So we get the thing from the image from the beginning. Not quite from the beginning. It's just Batman riding Metamorpho as a helicopter.
It's so weird.
Because it's weird.
He also has like weird like wing things. Where Batman puts his feet. Yeah. It's really upsetting.
And apparently they can hear through this open window of this penthouse because they are well inside the penthouse, but apparently they can hover outside of it and hear Batman or Plastic Man telling Ruby. She's like,
well, here's the thing: is Ruby thinks this is actually Batman, right? No,
she knows.
She knows it's Plastic Man, but apparently her and Plastic Man used to fuck anyway.
Well, apparently, whatever issue was beforehand in this, within the other issue that starred Plastic Man, they had some sort of connection.
Yeah,
and she basically was as we find out was tracing him as he became a hobo.
Yes,
and found out that
he's hanging out with Batman.
That Batman was like, "Yo, be me," and now she's like, "Okay, well, now that he's me."
And she gave him like some sort of like drink that like makes him
we'll see that later.
Mind controlled or whatever.
Yeah, so she's got him under like some sort of mind control.
Yeah,
and
women be witches.
And Batman, Plastic Man is like, "Yo, I'm doing it for justice," and she's like, "Oh man, I get off on justice."
Yeah,
she really just wants him to like
do shit
frame
for her,
Bruce Wayne, and get her that
yep.
statue.
Yes, because she's the other bidder. Spoiler alert.
Oh man,
I don't know.
Yeah, because here we go. Here's where she apparently Batman as Plastic Man as Batman was out doing some patrolling.
Yes.
And
Oh, that's right. There was a quote child.
well, she doesn't call it. That's the thing.
No. It's actually a little person that she hired to impersonate a child and pretend to have a lemonade stand to give Batman lemonade and like give Plastic Man this mind control drink. That's what's actually happening in this book.
I don't know what's more incredulous here. Okay, Metamorpho being on a street corner.
Just waiting
to see Batman as Plastic Man, or Plastic Man as Batman, or Plastic Man as Batman patrolling a street corner and just happens to come across a dwarf impersonating a child that is selling lemonade with a mind control substance in it that Batman bought for 10 cents.
It's all terrible. No, he gave it to him for free.
Oh, yeah, for free.
Batman didn't pay for shit.
I kind of wish it was like
free.
He did a throw it on the ground. It's like, yo, man, you get this for free.
He's like, I don't need your charity.
I don't need your handout, man. Threw it on the ground.
Oh, yeah, I love that video. I watch it like once a month.
That and Like a Boss are probably like the ones that you just watch.
I would recommend looking up The Lonely Island, threw it on the ground, and just enjoy it. And then every Earth Day, post happy birthday to the ground gifts.
Also watch Like a Boss. I know sometimes it's not for everybody, but it's a running joke where Jenna and I sometimes will. I'm not gonna spoil the song, but there's a part at the end where he says all this stuff. You know, Andy Samberg's doing the rap, and like he's telling Seth Rogen as a reviewer or whatever, like a job reviewer, and he's like, oh, so you do all that stuff? He's like,
yup.
He's like, yup, and then he's like. And then you said you do this horrible thing, and he's like, "Nah, man, not me." So sometimes we'll just do that.
That ain't me.
Sometimes we'll just do something like, "Nah, man, that ain't me." But highly recommended. I kind of wish that this was happening here.
Yeah.
But so basically, we just explained here about the hunting people, tracking Plastic Man. And now Plastic Man is Batman, and God damn it, this is stupid.
Yeah. So then she is like, oh, I'm going to go out of town because she's going to get her statue.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Since Bruce Wayne didn't buy the statue, she's going to go get it and like take it to her personal island or something.
She goes to Istanbul, gets the statue, and the guy's like, I guess, Batman's in jail, so I got to take your money.
Yeah, and Plastic Man comes up to her and he's like,
wait. So... Oh, okay. So you don't call her a witch again.
Yeah, I told you.
Okay.
So what happens here is like
they stow away on this plane.
Well, yeah, because also Plastic Man dressed as Batman is going too because he heard Bruce Wayne escaped. So he's like, well, I have to come with you because he's obviously going after the statue because that's what he was doing when I arrested him. So Metamorpho turns into a box that Batman hides inside of.
Ew.
And they stow away on a plane, and it's just awkward and weird because now Batman is inside Metamorpho.
Batman's inside of Metamorpho calling a woman a witch.
Yeah.
Which kind of encapsulates the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
Batman.
Oh, yeah.
Just him in a box calling a woman a witch.
Yeah, fuck bitches, basically. Like, this whole, like, Bob Haney was getting a little...
He's just doing that...
All that cocaine, man.
He's doing that Key and Peele thing. He's like, I said bitch.
Exactly.
You're Metamorpho. Hey, Brucey, hide inside me so you can call a woman a bitch.
Exactly. She won't hear you.
Actually, I kind of wish that was a thing when him and Metamorpho were both in, like, Justice League International, and it's like Batman gets mad, and he's like, hey, Bruce, you want to step inside me so you can call whoever Black Canary or fucking Wonder Woman a bitch?
He's like, yes, please.
Yes.
Because Wonder Woman will kill me if I call her a bitch. Like, literally kill
me. Actually, that'd be great. If
I would love to see Wonder Woman just fucking trounce Batman because he called her a bitch.
Just punt his nuts into his brain.
She just breaks him in half.
That would have been a great ending to Batman v Superman.
And he'd be like, incel forever! Then he just dies.
Batman just be like when she shows up, be like, are you with her? He's like, who's this bitch? Punt. Murder.
Punt murder.
Bruce and that Batman being like, or Superman just be like, all right, well, I'm back.
Yeah, I would really like it if Superman was just like, he would see it and he would just like look at it for a second and just go, anyway. And like, because he's like, you know what, I'm not even gonna get involved in whatever just happened over there.
Nah, man.
Nah, man.
Nah, man. Not me, man.
So she goes to buy this thing and she buys it. She's so happy. I don't really know what it does. She just likes it.
Yeah, she just likes it.
She just really wants the statue. So
Batman and Bruce. So Bruce and so Batman and Metamorpho are like, okay, look, we gotta get this statue out of here. And also,
like,
too, at some point, it's decided that they're gonna kill Plastic Man because she's gonna give him.
Oh, that's right.
Shit.
Ruby Riot wants to, or Ruby
Ryder.
Ruby Riot is a wrestler.
Yes.
Ruby Ryder wants to kill Plastic Man because fuck him.
Kill Plastic Man because she's basically just the key to Plastic Man being doped up and under control is that he's very thirsty.
Yes, he always wants tea.
He always needs something to drink.
So they're about ready to kill him. She's like, well, I don't need him anymore. This is great. Wayne's going to get fucked over. It doesn't matter. I screwed him because he wanted to buy the thing I wanted. And now he's in jail for it. Haha. I framed him for murder and fraud.
I framed him for murder and fraud because he wanted to buy something I wanted.
Yeah. Because he wanted...
2018 America.
Pretty much.
People.
Batman and Metamorpho arrange like a way to get the statue out. So they do that, and then when she comes back in the room to look at the statue, Metamorpho has taken the form of the statue.
Which is pretty impressive because...
Like, really detailed.
Yeah, it's like the exact duplicate of the statue.
Yeah, and so she starts like smoking like a pipe.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's weed. And Metamorpho's like, oh no, not smoke. Oh, he also formed a tape recorder in the back of his own head to record her, like, because villains always talk about their plans, to record her monologuing on her fucking plans to like kill everybody and like frame Bruce Wayne.
She's like, yo, this is my plan.
But it's just this weird drawing of like the back of this rock statue's head with like a tape recorder in it. It's like, very weird.
Because Metamorpho was like, I'll show them, I'll record everything. And
that's exactly what he does.
So he's got the skull recorder in the back of the skull, which apparently is based on iron particles because Metamorpho got iron in them.
Yeah,
But I get that the article that it's made of recorder, but how does the tape like? I don't understand that. That's how tape recording works. I don't know the exact science of tape recording. I do work in audio.
I actually don't know how it works, but I will tell you that this is basically what I meant by like they're using Metamorpho like a Green Lantern.
Pretty much.
And he just becomes whatever you need him to become.
We jump back to the river where apparently Batman is riding the statue that is...
the real statue.
But the real statue that is buoyant enough...
Yeah, this thing is fucking... Okay, this thing is at least 12 feet tall. It has to be rock or wood?
Something.
They never really say it's brown. Whatever is brown. And
I'm assuming it's some sort of dense wood or rock.
But if it was rock, there's no way Batman would be able to literally ride it like a canoe down the river.
Right, which he does.
Which is what he's doing.
Because Batman.
So then Metamorpho starts coughing because of the smoke. He has his tape recorder. Just as Plastic Man is about to drink.
Okay, real quick. I don't understand why there's this whole to-do about this tape recorder. Because... if it's made of his body,
it would always just be there.
It could always just be there. He could just kind of just cover it up with like another steel or another iron thing.
He could just reabsorb it until he needs it again, right?
Yeah, it's in him.
Yeah,
you can stick it on your shoulder, roll it up like a pack of cigarettes, like they used to do back in the day.
Oh yeah, you mean it is his fucking sleeve?
Yeah, let's do some Outsiders.
What was he trying to? Is he auditioning?
Lords of Flatbush, starring Metamorpho.
Is he auditioning for a role in Grease?
Yes, actually,
he's like, I can't wait to be Kaneki.
Oh man, can you imagine Kaneki and imagine Metamorpho as Kaneki and Stockard Channing making out?
I can actually.
That is somebody's fanfic.
No, but I can absolutely see Metamorpho as Kaneki in a fucking black leather jacket, like smoking and like yelling at Rizzo to get off the fucking Ferris wheel because she's knocked up, but she's not. False alarm.
We'll be together.
They're like yeah, I could see it.
Now I want.
That's all I want.
Cast with DC superheroes.
Literally all I want now.
I feel like that's a thing. I feel like we should do an episode where we just do like what Wizard Magazine used to do, and just be like, "Hey, let's cast a movie of this comic," but we just recast great movies
like Grease.
And we cast them with everybody in that.
If we ever get a Patreon, that's what we're gonna do.
So right now we have, Metamorpho as Kaneki, so we gotta make sure we got that one
Well,
set.
but Metamorpho is connected.
R.I.P. Jeff Conway.
Yeah, well, that's his whole drug addiction comes from that movie. You know that?
Really?
Yeah, that's what he says. He said that he was doing. So there's a scene in there. It's the Grease Lightning scene where they're on the car.
Oh, was he just doing big piles of blow?
No, because he played Danny on Broadway. Okay, so he did Grease, and he played Danny on Broadway, which was the John Travolta role. That's the one he wanted to play, but then fucking John Travolta came in because he looks like John Travolta, and he got cast as Danny. So Jeff Conway got cast as Kaneki. And they were doing that dance number on the car, the Grease Lightning thing, and he, went to, fall into the car or something, and he jacked his back up from doing that. And that's what led to eventually having to get on painkillers, which then just turned into his whole fucking addiction and da-da-da-da-da. So.
Yeah, it was a bad bump.
He took a bad bump, yeah.
Took a bad bump.
Yeah. And that's all it takes to fuck your back up, too. That's what sucks.
R.I.P. Kaneki.
Yeah.
Way to bring the show down.
Sorry. Anyway, wouldn't it be funny if Metamorpho was Kaneki? Back to funny.
Well, speaking of back to funny, so Batman, Plastic Man as Batman is in the other room having a tea.
Well, no, he's ready to drink that potion that's going to kill him.
And because that's basically all he's doing in his other room, while What's-Her-Face is doing
monologuing.
Yeah. He's in the room being like, gee.
Yeah, he's like, can't wait to drink my death potion. Looks so good. And then her goon, because she finds out this is Metamorpho, her goon runs over to Plastic Man and is like, slaps the tea out of his hand. Literally, just goes poof, backhands. Backhands it. Backhands it.
The guy comes in screaming, in the name of heaven, don't drink that. And he slaps, he's like, don't drink that fucking tea.
He's like, we need your Batman, come on. And so, Metamorpho encounters Plastic Man. And that's when he's like, hey, you're not actually Batman, you're Plastic Man. And he's like, oh, that's right. I have plastic powers. I am Plastic Man. And he just comes out of the bat suit to be Plastic Man.
Comes out of the back suit to be Plastic Man, and he starts fighting Metamorpho. Metamorpho, he wraps him up with his hands. Metamorpho turns into gas. Plastic Man turns into a balloon and sucks up Metamorpho inside him.
And then he explodes.
And then he dies.
And then he
Metamorpho
explodes.
turns into a fucking iron pin.
Yeah, Metamorpho literally shoots out of his abdomen.
R.I.P. Plastic Man.
Right? And so
R.I.P. Kaneki, R.I.P. Plastic Man.
And they're both trying to get the tape recorder, and they knock it off the thing. And then because this drink wears off.
Yeah.
The one that made him think he was Batman and susceptible to his commands, he realizes, what's going on. And that gives Metamorpho the time to save the tape recorder by turning into a baseball mitt.
A calcium mitt. See, this is where he announces it's a calcium mitt. He didn't announce what pin he was using. He didn't announce what the glass cutter was.
He is just Green Lantern.
So he goes back up, and Batman. So Plastic Man's like, "Oh shit, I'm a face." So then the goon's like, "I'm gonna shoot him," and
he grabs the gun.
He grabs the gun, and they end up.
Metamorpho becomes like an Iron Maiden on the door to prevent them from leaving.
No, what he does, he becomes an iron grill with spikes on it.
Yeah, it's one side of an Iron Maiden.
Because they're about to run out the door, and he's like, "I'd rather kill you all."
It's in that, in the Star Wars, which in the Sarlacc pit or whatever.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was smashy. So they capture them. Plastic Man's like, haha, fuck you, lady I used to screw. And then they turn them all over to the police department.
Because they have the tape that's made out of Metamorpho. And
everything's okay.
And then literally they're like, Batman
and Plastic
Man and Metamorpho are walking down the steps of the fucking court.
Yeah.
And Batman, they're all like, yo, we fucking did it. And Plastic Man's like, but I gotta go back to being the bum.
He's like, do I have to be homeless again? And Batman's like, I'm sure we can use you, friend.
I'll not give you a job.
Yeah, maybe you don't have to be homeless and suffering through extreme poverty. By the way, here's me in whatever country the statue was stolen from. I brought it back to them. Here's just a picture of me.
A great person. He brought back a statue to the nation of Africa.
The nation of Africa.
Well, because it doesn't tell you which nation. It just says deep. It's just middle of Africa.
It's that wonderful thing where it's just like it's Africa. And you're like, there's like a shit ton of countries in Africa.
Pick fucking any.
Zimbabwe. Pick one. Chad. Chad's a country in Africa.
Chad.
And they're just like, no, it's Africa. And you're like, okay.
Mozambique.
That's a fucking continent.
You got so many. Cameroon. Let's go to Cameroon, Batman.
Right? What about Djibouti? That's a country.
No, that's a city.
No, Djibouti's a country.
Is it?
They have representatives of the Olympics.
They should go to that country of the people. Do you remember watching the Nation Parade? And there was like, here's a bunch of people that like...
Oh, they don't have countries.
They don't have countries, but they're just fucking here.
Yeah, I can't remember what they called them.
Like the United Nation of Assholes.
No, you're right, because it's like either athletes who are from countries that no longer existed, or that are war-torn, or they're like fucking refugees and shit, and they don't have a country, so they like all get to hang out together.
Nice.
Yeah, that's kind of sad, though.
I'm the best one of those.
I forget, somebody did really well in some sport last time, I don't remember. Somebody from that...
And those other countries.
Yeah, they're like, all those other countries.
All those other countries. But that's it for Batman Brave and the Bold, number 123, just from December 1975. Would you want to read the next issue?
Of course I would.
Oh, yeah.
This fucking book is so fucking ridiculous.
Bring it to me now.
I love every minute of it. It's so great.
Bring it to me now. Put it in front of me. I need to know.
I want to see Batman murder more people with sacks of nickels. Please give me that.
I want to see... I want to see if Plastic Man becomes a mailbox.
We have to find out, like, how many more things does Metamorpho become? My favorite about that is Metamorpho, like, counted how many pieces of mail people put inside of him. Because he was literally like, oh, I've been here for this many hours, and I have this many pieces of mail. Better go take it to the post office.
Yeah.
And then he took it down to the post office so those people could mail their letters.
That's right.
Just makes me happy.
Shout out to Rex Mason being a responsible citizen because,
somebody might have put a bill in there. They got to pay the phone company.
We couldn't pay shit online back then.
No, not at all. You had
to send letters.
You had to actually go down to the office. Like in person.
Oh yeah, you got to fucking do the. Metamorpho's a good man.
Yep, helping people.
Yeah, he's got Bruce. You got Bruce Wayne here calling women witches.
And again, who Bruce Wayne murdered never comes back up. Who's actually dead doesn't matter.
Here's what I would love, because this probably doesn't exist anymore because of Crisis. Or maybe it does. I don't fucking know. What would be great is if all of a sudden one issue of Batman, they're just like, hey, Batman, remember that guy you didn't murder? Well, he is murdered, and now you're going to jail.
They do. They had a whole run like that. It was Batman Fugitive, or Bruce Wayne Fugitive.
But was it based on this book?
No, it was based on... I don't remember exactly, but this is like back in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Or early 2000s-ish.
Yeah.
Where it's like Bruce Wayne Fugitive, Bruce Wayne Murderer, where he's like accused of murdering some woman, I think.
Oh.
But he didn't do it, and he has like clear his name or something.
I didn't kill a woman.
Yeah, there's a whole run.
I just killed my bank account because I buy things that I don't need.
Right now, I'm in the middle of reading like a Jimmy Olsen where he gets like $1 million, but he has to spend it all in a day, so he gets another $1 million. It's very confusing. And all it tells me is that $1 million used to go a hell of a lot farther than it does today.
I would just, look, if I was...
Because he's having trouble spending it.
I would just buy planes.
We're gonna read this book and wait till you see all the shit he's bought, and they're like, you're not even close to $1 million. And I'm like, how?
Plane. Building. Give me.
Honestly, to spend $1 million, all I'd have to do is buy one house in Southern California.
Well, yeah,
done.
no.
Taken care of.
Here, let me buy that. Let me buy that shack.
Yeah, that 2-bedroom shack that really needs to be renovated. That's $950,000, please.
I'll spend the rest on a fucking big screen TV.
Yeah.
The size of the house.
Yeah. Might as well.
Might as well. I did it. Give me more millions. Yeah, but that's it for this issue, and that's it for this book and this episode. Thanks for listening, folks. We got a little. I'm actually a little bit more comfortable now.
I feel like there's a cooler breeze coming through the windows
got some air
right
coming
now.
through here, so we're okay. But thanks again for listening, folks. You can find myself on Twitter and Instagram at Angry Hero Sean.
And I'm at Jen Stansfield on Twitter and Instagram. You can find us on Facebook at Worst Collection Ever and email us at worstcollectionever@gmail.com.
And of course, please rate, subscribe, and tell a friend, share, leave us a review. Do that on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get this show. That would be really appreciated. Is there any other business? I feel like there's something else I had to mention with regards to stuff like that, but
I don't know.
I think we're pretty good.
I think we're good.
So do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Do all that stuff and check out the show. And I Can Talk Kayfabe. We'll hopefully get some more episodes up for that. With me and myself and Joe Cordaro talking wrestling. Please check that out. Yeah, thanks again for listening, folks, and we'll talk again soon.
Bye.